The heading is called The Killings. The reason I didn't put murder is because I leave it up to the people who are sovereign and supreme to decide whether it was murder or justified in law. How do you justify killing another human being? Only when your life is in danger. Am I saying his life was in danger? No, as I said, it'll be for you to decide. When 10 people dressed in uniforms or turn up in police vehicles and you know they are not officers of the Crown, why are they there? Did they have a lawful warrant? If so, where is it? Why weren't we showed the warrant? No, we were told they are public officers or police officers, and they were shot. And it was an ambush. Or if it was an ambush, there must have been some warning given to them they were going there. Otherwise, how can you ambush somebody when you don't even know they're coming? You know, it's time to wake up. Given the track record of the Labor Party in that state, why wouldn't anybody think they were coming to kill them or shoot them, rubber bullets or live bullets or whatever? Have they got a track record for what they did? Yes. Do I condone the killing of two humans and the bad injuring of another? Absolutely not. They've got families. I was a police officer, but they are not. They are public officers. They are creatures of statute. They can never be officers of the Crown. Who said so? Michael Kirby. Why did he say that? Because it's true. If they didn't swear the oath in the Constitution, they were public officers, an unlawful army, contrary to 114 of the Constitution. You don't like what I'm saying, get with the program. The victims were two men. The one that got badly injured, another man. Why were they there? If he did not submit to a breath test or a drug test, why? Why did he have to? Who told you you could take breath coming out of another human's mouth? Did the people? No. So where's your authority to do it? You didn't have any. Doesn't matter what a magistrate or a judge or anybody else says, or a politician, you can pull someone over if they're doing something wrong. I get that. I have no problem with that. It always was the case. You're saying some machine or some moron in the university said, oh, if you've got 0.05 alcohol in your blood, you're affected by alcohol and incapable of caring for that vehicle. That's a lie. And a moron would say that, no one else. You need evidence that the alcohol is affecting that person. It doesn't come from his breath. That's not evidence. That's saying everybody absorbs alcohol at the same rate. Everybody drinks the same amount of alcohol to get to that level. That's not true. None of it is. Look at the anatomy of a human. All different things decide how much alcohol. So without getting any further in that, Dan Andrews and Jacinta Allen, you allowed, without lawful excuse, a bunch of thugs to fire on the people in where that monument was during the COVID thing. Can the people trust you? No. Have they got every right to be scared? Yes. So even though I don't condone the killing, does he have a lawful reason for being scared? Yes. Has he got a lawful right to defend himself? Yes. 1688 Bill of Rights. He has every lawful right to defend his family, his wife, and his property. How he does that, it becomes a boo-hoo thing. Boo-hoo if somebody gets killed. Does that take away from the lives of those 3 people, because 2 were killed and 1 was injured? No, it doesn't. Why did the media straight away say he was a sovereign citizen? Oh, how convenient. They went there just before a major event in this country. Do I know what I'm talking about? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. HCA 44 of 2010, a Victorian case in the Supreme Court. All that law is valid. 1688 Bill of Rights, habeas corpus, and all imperial law is law in this country and must be abided by. Did you do that? No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Now you're going to hunt him down, and he's got a 99.9% chance of being shot dead, so they can't open his mouth and talk to him. Otherwise, they put him in a loony bin. I don't know the bloke. I don't know a lot about him, only what I've been told the last couple of days. It's hearsay, so I'm not going to comment on that. But if he was in fear of his life when 10 idiots screamed in his drive and decided they were going to take his wife and children, and now he kidnapped them and was holding them hostage, all lies from the media, and you're allowing it, instead of blanketing the media out until you got the facts, you didn't do that. How do I know the media lie? Because when they come round my place to arrest me, they came, ABC, Australian Bulldust Club, said that they come up with a warrant for my arrest from Perth. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. That's an outright lie. They turned up at my place with a warrant, which wasn't signed. They admitted it. Was photoshopped off another one. They admitted it. Had no evidence. They admitted it. So how was that person supposed to know? I'm talking back again about the two were killed and the one that was injured. How is he supposed to know you weren't just going to rock up there and blow him away and just say, oh, too bad he had a gun? Did you know he had a gun? If you did, why did you do it the way you did? Why did you not put on his TV, on his radio, on whatever, and tell him or send him a letter saying, we're coming on this date, we wish to talk to you about your children, your wife, and this so-called sex offence that is popped up out of the blue somewhere, all because he's homeschooling, all because he dares to go against the lies and the fraud of the Labor Party. Not only the Labor Party, every politician of every political party. You don't see the big mouths, Kangaroo Jack, Shillingsworth, and any others. Oh, they killed these police. Why aren't you mouthing off? You don't like the police? You've made that abundantly clear. But getting back to Dan Andrews and Jacinta Allen, you were the idiots that authorised the purported police, which were only public officers, not creatures, they're creatures of statute, not officers of the Crown, which they are required to be, appointed under imperial law. Why did you allow them to fire on the public at the War Memorial? Why did you allow that? You set the scene for what took place. You basically put fear in his life. If he had a mental snap and started shooting, it's on your heads. Look in the mirror and say, you killed those two police. You injured that police officer. Did you pull the trigger? No, but you may as well have. You set the stage for him to be in absolute fear, bearing in mind what you've already done. That's what I'm talking about. You don't get your actions cause that thing. And now, by the media blabbing it everywhere, is he ever going to get a fair trial? No. It may well be he's gone up the mountains and shot himself. It may well be the police are going up there, or the purported police are going up there to shoot him and make it look like he did. Do I trust them? No. Do I feel sorry for their family? Absolutely. Should they have gone the way they did? Absolutely not. They did not follow normal procedure. If there was any suspected idea that he might become violent, he's a sovereign citizen. That's a stupid, dumb statement for any moron like you to make. Wake up. That could have been handled 100 ways different to what you did. How do I know? I was a cop for 17 years. I know procedure and I wouldn't have done it that way. Why did they go there if they knew had a gun of any kind, even the 22, without a bulletproof vest, without a body cam? Will we ever know the truth what come out of there? Nothing at all. You will never know. Why? Because you're not going to tell the truth. You're going to beat it up because you want brownie points. Look what we're doing. You're doing nothing except killing the people of this country. How many people have committed suicide from what you've done? You know, I didn't come on here just to attack you. I come on here to tell the truth. This is a piece of garbage was put through South Australian Parliament by Malinaucus government. Last night, the Malinaucus government passed the Emergency Management Miscellaneous Amendment Bill 2024. Under the amended General Powers, Section 25 of the Act, the State Coordinator and the authorised officers are given the power to issue directions in any form without limitation. These directions may contravene another law of the state, affect individuals' personal rights, and may use force to ensure compliance. These directions can include breaking into any land, building, structure or vehicle, taking possession or assuming control over any land body of water, removing or destroying buildings, structures, vehicles, vegetations, and even animals, ordering real estate owners to forfeit control of their properties, removing people or animals, directing people to submit to a decontamination procedure. That's South Australia. What did you put through, Jacinta Allen, you and your moron Labor Party traitors, flea bags, because that's all you are, maggots? Anything else I could think of without swearing? What did you put through? $12,000 fine for stopping some maggot go on your property and erecting towers on your property, which no parliament in this country has authority over property whatsoever. Yeah, nobody does. If they did, it would be in Section 51 of the Constitution. How do we know? 5138, and the annotated one says so. What's the annotations? The interpretation by the people who wrote it, which is the only interpretation which is lawful. You've assumed authority over land. You've rated people off their land to a huge extent. Now you've got some moronic half-wit from the Philippines calling himself an Australian when he's not, saying we've got to pay rent for the land we paid for of somebody who has nothing. Aaron, what constitution? Shut up, Aaron. I got nothing more to say. You know we've got a constitution. It's there. It's official, and you can't change that by any maggot thing that you put on here, so don't. I'm angry at the garbage that's going on, and now 2 people are killed and another one badly injured because people don't recognise the Constitution, which will put them in position where they must tell the truth for once. Time to wake up. We are sovereign and supreme in our own right. That does not make us sovereign citizens. Does not. We are not sovereign citizens. We are sovereign. The Parliament is subject to the will of the people. If we don't grant authority, then what I read out for the South Australian government is a lie. Where do they derive their power from? The Constitution is the parameters set by the people as how they wish to be governed. The Parliament must govern inside the will of the people. They haven't. BlackRock make up their own rules. Aaron, as I said, shut up. I'm going to delete what you put because that's nonsense. I don't want to hear it. Everyone knows BlackRock and them are playing around. BlackRock do not run the people, only if you let them. So you want to submit to them, send them a letter saying you're going to do that. Or get off my page. I'm not in the mood to listen to your crap. What I'm talking about, 2 people died for no reason, except they didn't follow protocol. They were not protected by bulletproof vests. They had no body cameras that would record the truth. Someone got badly injured and he suffered the same. I bet the other 7 people didn't have body protection. If they didn't think there was a problem going there, why were there so many of them? Are they so gutless that they must have 10 people to arrest one person? Then the media stepped in. You're guilty of everything that took place as well, because you've lied, misled and deceived people into believing, oh, he's holding his family hostage. Liars. Where's the evidence of it? There's none. So you're lying until you have evidence, and you don't have any. You see, Aaron, if you're on my side, stop putting that garbage up there. You know we've got a constitution. You don't want me to have a shot at you, don't put that on here. Sorry, that's how it is. You tell them, Wayne, yeah, I am telling everybody who comes on here at this time, I am angry. I'm entitled to be angry because I know what took place. If somebody's in fear of their life and they shoot somebody and that person dies, boo-hoo. I was really angry when a lady here who had a bread and butter knife was shot. And when they come out and they said the purported police officer was in fear of his life. Yeah, it reminds you of the shooting in Queensland. It does me too, the same way, done by people who had no right to be there, and there's no way you'll ever convince me it was anything but unlawful. But having said that, we've got to sort out this government. That's what the 31st is all about. People telling the government, we've had enough of your lies and fraud, because whether you like it or not, we don't have a government that's owned by Albanese, who says it's my government. Jacinta Allen, it's my government. No, it's not. It's the people's parliament. There is no such thing as a prime minister. There is no such thing as a premier. If you can give that title to the Speaker of the House, give it to him. Until then, get rid of it. It doesn't exist. What about the first Prime Minister? Who was he? The Speaker of the House? The person responsible for passing legislation from the Executive Council to the Parliament for debate? You work it out. Sort it out. It's time this country woke up. You're being played. Yeah, Albanese moved me ahead with the treaty bill. You need to put it to the people. It has absolutely no value whatsoever. And that goes for anything that is signed by any politician in this country. Till you ask us and we say yes, you're lying. You're lying. It's a retaliation event from the Sydney Harbour House. It ain't biblical. Yeah, I agree, Aaron. Now you're putting something that can be put towards what I'm talking about. I don't apologise for the way I'm speaking. I am angry that 2 people lost their lives because of the stupidity of moronic idiot politicians who created the lot. You set the scene for anybody who has a large number of cops turn up, or purported police turn up, to be dead scared, pull out a gun and start shooting. Am I wrong? No, I'm not. You set the scene. You fired on innocent people doing nothing wrong. And that was you, Jacinta Allen and Dan Andrews. You two, if anyone had died, would have been murderers and should have been treated accordingly. I'm not for violence. Don't get me wrong. I don't believe anyone should be shot. Yeah, Sandra, you're right. Please, people don't shoot cops in Australia for no reason. He was scared. Look at how many, 10 cops to him, and they wanted to take his family and kids because he was homeschooling them. Who said he can't homeschool them? You can't pass a law like that. Educating our kids is governed by common law, the common law being the King James Bible, whether you like it or not. If you wish to get permission to educate our kids, you can. I took mine out of school and educated them. And when they did the test, they were way in front of all the other people in the same year. Why? Because we taught them. Vic Paul departed from the, without authority. They are just, you can put up there, I don't want any comments, please, in relation to that. I'm sad that he's running. I'm sad that 2 people got killed. And because of that, I'm not very nice. So I don't want any arguments. So please do not put any things on here. Yeah, they've got no human care at all. WA police have approved the counter-protest. That just shows how stupid they are. And if something comes out of that and it's violent, they're guilty of it. But we don't have any police here. We again have public officers. I proved that in the court. You're not officers of the Crown. If you walk out there with a police uniform on, you are masquerading as something that you're not. But what you are is a private army controlled and run by an idiot, thug, from the unions, Dodgy Roger, and his criminal mates. You can't figure that around 1 million people, including all the people you're pushing in the face of the people of this country, is all you've got against 25.5 million who are going to say, no, you're not doing it. Push hard enough, there's going to be a lot more people hurt. And I'm not asking for it, I'm not suggesting it, but I promise you the people will not sit back and let you get away with it. You think, oh, I'll bring in a foreign army, they'll just get shot. You have no right to give the police authority to make laws, rules, regulations or anything else in relation to firearms. It doesn't exist. If somebody wants to see what I'm talking about, that's fine. Max, I can see what you're saying. Yep. I've had a gut. No, I have sick to my stomach of listening to clowns justifying, oh, we belong to this political party. No, if you belong to a political party, you belong to a group of traitors. You are equally responsible for what they do. In this case, Jacinta Allan and our little friend, or ex-friend Dan Andrews, you are murderers. Just the same as if you shot those 2 police officers and the bodily harm on the other one who got badly injured. You can say whatever you like, but you've covered up pedophilia in this country, abuse of people of all races. Everything you've done is criminal. Everything. Simply because you have no right to be there. There is imperial law that we retained by way of the 1999 referendum. Every bit of it is law in this country. That's what Justice French ruled in a case in Victoria in 2010, HCA 44. Read it and weep. You're all committing a huge criminal offence just by sitting in our parliament. You don't like that. I didn't come on here to rave all day. I just say this. I'm sorry for what the family of those 2 officers that died are going through. I've seen it before. Unfortunately, a police officer a long time ago got shot in Geraldton just walking up the door. They opened the door and shot him dead. That's sad because he was a police officer and should never have happened. Now it's happening because of the actions of Dan Andrews and Jacinta Allan and the Labor Party throughout this country, along with all the other politicians. Don't think I'm going to be silent about you. You may block me off Facebook and all the rest of the things. That's okay. You can do that. No matter what you do, what I'm saying will live on in the minds of people. And they may just stand up and say, you're gone. You don't belong sitting in our parliament. Everything you're doing is absolute lies and fraud. So what I'd like to say is you have a nice day. I'm going to do another video before Sunday. And it's time the government stopped lying, the media stopped lying and trying to stir trouble. And I urge everybody, to remain cool, calm and collected and not argue. If somebody wants to march and hold the Palestinian flag up, I don't agree with it. But all they're really doing is saying those kids were killed. What did the kids do? In Israel, the kids were killed. What did the kids do? In all the other countries, the kids were killed. What did those kids do? They're not guilty of the sins of their parents. They're not guilty. And whatever has taken place is murder, no matter where it's coming from. And you cannot justify anyone killing someone else regardless. But the law is a funny thing. Put to a jury the right way, Dan Andrews and Jacinta Allen are guilty of the murder by association and by what they've done. I really look at this and I'm so disgusted that 2 people died and another one badly injured. I don't know how bad he is. Hopefully he doesn't die. But if you murder that person, you are going to be so sorry because of what people will do. Yeah, I feel sorry for their loved ones. I really do. So thank you for your time. I'm cutting off there because I don't want to get tens of thousands of self-described patriotic Australians say they will march against mass migration. Yeah, so that's their right. If your government doesn't like it, put your thugs out to make sure that your idiots don't stir them up. They have every right, no matter what creed or colour. If they were born here, they have every single right to object to mass immigration if it's affecting us. But that's not what is doing it. And I have the evidence which will show you why these people are sleeping in the streets. Why they have nowhere to go. And it's right in front of your face if you take the time to look. But I will reveal that with another video. I don't want to interfere with this one. And that's the trouble. Understand, I feel sorry for the 2 people who died and their families. But Dan Andrews and Jacinta Allen and the Labor Party and all politicians, you're guilty of any offence that was committed against them because you created the situation, the atmosphere. And the media, you're 100% complicit in what you're doing. So have a nice day.